Fantastic new song from Keaton Simons, a song called Hero in Hell. Time right now is about 4 minutes past the hour, 2 o'clock, and you are listening to WSCALP, Portsmouth Community Radio. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I happen to be fortunate enough to be joined by the singer who wrote that song, sang it. Mr. Keaton Simons is going to be joining me live in the studio right now as we speak, I think.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, right
Yes, I am here. I was waiting for my cue, you know.
That's the cue, and you're here. Good.
I don't want to be premature.
I want to make sure I'm pushing the right buttons, too. So I don't know how many times I said, he's right here. And then
right.
Silence.
Exactly.
He's a man of few words. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me, man.
This is my pleasure. You're performing tonight over in Newmarket.
This is correct.
At the Stone Church.
That's right.
And you're making your debut appearance here on the show, so I appreciate that. And I have to congratulate you on this, especially that song, but this whole album, really.
Thanks,
fantastic.
Man. I'm so glad you dig that. That's super cool. We put that together, of acoustic stuff, kind of specifically for this East Coast tour, and I'm really pleased with it too. So
this is just an EP in between albums. Is that what that is?
Yeah, this is kind of an EP in between albums. I've got my new live album.
You got a new live one, right?
Hide, and then that one from the Pacific, and it's all kind of just us gearing up to release a new studio record.
Well, I definitely want to talk about the new studio album and whatever else you want to talk about for that matter. This is your hour, and we're just happy you're here. But I'm glad you released this EP. If that's the case, man, it's fantastic. I've become a huge fan over the last month or so since I booked you to come in here.
That's awesome.
I was actually. On Facebook, I billed this show today as the "Why the Hell Aren't You Famous" show because seriously, the first time I heard you, the first song I heard was like, "Why isn't this guy famous?"
Man? Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
So I'm a big fan.
Well, we're working on it with
Right on. Keep going. Right, one step at a time.
Exactly.
All right. So what I think we'll do, if you don't mind, is let's start with a live thing, and then we can come back and we'll chat about whatever you want to chat about.
I love it.
All right.
We had discussed If I Hadn't Forgotten.
All right, great.
That song. So let's start with that.
All right.
Why not? Huh?
Sounds good.
All right. All this time spent waiting for the storm, and stitching up the seams that have been torn. I don't know how you endure the pain, if you feel the same. I don't know what you've been dreaming of, or if your heart is haunted by our love. I don't know if you tried moving on, but I can't get past the way we left off. If I knew now what I knew then, if I hadn't forgotten what we meant, and if I'd held on through the hard times, if I'd done what I needed to make things right, I'd know love before I lost it. If I hadn't forgotten. Tempted by the thrill of something new, and now I turn my lonely eyes on you. Promised you that we could have it all, where you trusted me and I let you fall. If I knew now what I knew then, if I hadn't forgotten what we meant, if I'd held on right, and I would know love before I lost it if I hadn't forgotten. I don't like making promises if I'm not sure I can keep them. No, no, I don't like making promises. Oh, no, no, but if I knew now, oh, what I knew then, yeah, hey, yeah, if I knew now, if I knew now what I knew then, yeah, well then I would know love before I lost it. I would know love before I lost it. Oh, I would know love before I lost it. If I hadn't forgotten, if I hadn't forgotten, if I hadn't forgotten, if I hadn't forgotten.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Fantastic song.
Thanks, man.
It was Keaton Simons live in the WSCA studio, a song called If I Hadn't Forgotten. And that was a sort of a request. And the reason, it wasn't sort of a request, it was a request.
It was.
And the reason it was is because you sent me your albums, the first studio album that you have out, Can You Hear Me? And then the two new ones. He has a brand new live album out called Nowhere to Hide, and a new EP out called From the Pacific. And for some reason, I don't generally go on YouTube and do too much research on the guests I have in.
You had to stalk me, though.
Well, I did. I kind of... I'm not sure exactly why I did it, but I did it, and I found that was one of the first songs I found. So I was like, great, I'm gonna have to look that up on these albums. And then I'm like, well, why don't I find this song on these albums? Because it's such a great song.
Thanks, man. It's actually available on iTunes.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, there's two versions up there on iTunes. There's the one of just me solo, and then there's a duet that I recorded with my good friend Didi Ben-Ami, who was one of the finalists on American Idol a few seasons ago.
Oh, okay.
And
that's the one I saw, I guess.
Yeah. She did such an incredibly beautiful job on that, man. And the reason that we that we released that song as a single was because it got used on the show Private Practice, and it was actually such a unique and cool placement. I'm really fortunate that people like to use my music in their movies and TV shows and stuff like that. And this particular one, the song was written into the episode. They actually titled the episode after the song. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And so we were like, if that's not a good enough reason to release a single, I don't know what it is. So.
Well, that's pretty cool then that they would do that. And
So
I know you've
great.
been out there, you've been on a bunch of different shows, but to actually have it have the show named after it.
It was amazing.
Those are one of those things, and I suppose we can talk about that because it's a powerful song in my opinion, and
Thanks,
and I think because of that. And because I couldn't find it on the album, that's the reason I kept like going in and trying to find out more of your stuff, I guess. But because of the power of that song, in my opinion, and as you said, the placement in that, you've had other songs in other shows.
Yeah.
There's an art to creating a placement of a song.
Without
it really
doubt.
it makes it can make the show sometimes.
Absolutely.
And I don't know what I want to ask about that, except for the fact that it is, when you see that, obviously you have an emotional attachment to. I would assume that you have an emotional attachment to each and every song you write.
Without a doubt.
When you see it sort of come to life in something like that, in someone else's sort of visual vision, Does it change it for you? Does it add something?
It definitely adds something because it's such an honor, and for me, I've always had so much just respect and admiration for artistic mediums that make use of other artistic mediums so beautifully and respectfully, you know, and film is one of those things. Dance is another one that's just incredible, you know. I mean, dance is such an extensive, beautiful, artistic, expressive medium, and it's, you know, more or less dependent on music. And dancers and choreographers absolutely know that. I mean, that's what it's all about is being inspired by the music and telling a story from it.
And marrying them together.
Exactly. And marrying them together to create something entirely unique. And it really, you know, for me, I'm a collaborator. I love collaboration. And especially when you can cross from one to the other is just great.
Do you, you released that as a single.
Yeah.
Is that going to be on the next album?
It will. I'm almost definitely going to put it on the next album.
Almost definitely.
Almost definitely. I've got a lot of songs to choose from, but I don't want this to be a skimpy album. This next one, I'm kind of tired of playing by the normal rules.
Right.
You know, I want to give a lot of myself, and
what
so I plan to do that.
Just give me a definition of what the normal rules are.
Well, I mean, you know, they're always, it can't be too long, too many songs. You don't want it to be this or that. You know, so it's like for me, I really want to go with my gut on this one. And you know, throughout my career, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've gotten a lot of great advice from a lot of great people, and it's kind of led me not to where I necessarily want to be, and so it's like kind of time that I just start really trusting my gut and respect and trust the people that that are on my team and that I'm surrounded by.
Right.
But ultimately, I got to go with what I feel.
Well, let's go back to the first album then. Can You Hear Me is the name of that first disc. Is there a implication in that you didn't follow your gut in this?
No, I definitely followed my gut on that one.
Okay.
I love that record, and that was a really genuine expression of me as who I am. I would definitely have loved to put some more songs on there. That album's a little short for me, and I don't do a good job playing hard to get. I'm way too forward. I'm too fresh for that.
Right.
You know? But I guess I did a little bit of hard to get with If I Hadn't Forgotten, and it worked on you because
right
I'm looking for more stuff. But no, with Can You Hear Me, that was. The reason I called it Can You Hear Me was it was frustration. I was coming off of, you know, a few years before that, I had been signed to a major label and just royally screwed in a way that people very often get in those circumstances, and so not uncommon. But I hadn't been able to release anything. They wouldn't give me my record back, and I had to wait years before I was able to legally re-record and release the songs that I recorded from that. And so this was like, Can You Hear Me? Here I am finally. And so that album, you know, has songs that I had written within, you know, a few weeks of recording it,
really?
And songs that I had written 10 years before. So it was a great chronicle of.
And this was released on CBS, right?
That was released on CBS Records in 2008.
And was that jumping on another label, a bigger label like that? Was that something that were you cool with it, or were you hesitant?
Totally cool with it. No, totally cool. And they were absolutely wonderful, and you know, did great. And it got to a point where I was kind of like, you know, ready to go in a different direction, and they ended up closing their doors anyway after I, you know, left, but completely amicably and all that. I mean, it's an interesting, the industry, you know, it's constantly changing. You got to go with the flow, and you got to just, but the core of it is always going to be about talent, expression, integrity, and just music
and
connectedness.
Presentation. Yeah, it's about that connecting. It's about presenting it to the audience, and you know, if the audience connects to it, really.
Exactly.
I mean, you can write the greatest song in the world, and if an audience doesn't connect to it, I mean, it'd still be a great song.
Yeah.
But it probably won't get out there. No
Absolutely.
One will hear it,
And I think if the artist themselves doesn't connect to the song, then you really don't stand a chance of anyone else connecting to it. I think that's how people. That's what inspires people to be connected more even than the song itself.
I agree at 1,000,000,000% about that. Those are my favorite songs in the world are the ones that I sort of, it's almost a tangible emotion, you know, that the artist is putting out there. You know, if a song can bring me to tears or anger or whatever it is, they're doing something right,
Absolutely.
in my opinion. There's a song off this album called Without Your Skin off of Can You Hear Me? And I suppose I'll throw out another request then.
Let's do it,
since it's my show. And that's a great song. And I think that was probably the first song I heard of yours.
Oh, cool.
Laura, your agent, your manager, your everything.
My everything.
You know, she got in touch with me and said, you know, that you were going to be in the area. I hadn't heard of you. She had sent me a link to this album, and I was like, wow, man, that is a great song. So another wow moment for me.
Thank you so much.
So if you could do that song, I appreciate
Of course,
it.
it'd be my pleasure. Here we go. Listen closely, or you'll never hear me whisper all the pretty things I'm scared to say out loud. In my mind, I know all I can do is kiss you, but I'm caught between the curtain and the crowd. I don't leave 'cause I'm afraid to be alone. And it doesn't even matter now you're gone. On the outside, I seem fine, but when you look into my eyes, baby, you're bound to see me shaking. Out of your skin, out of your skin, ooh, without your skin, I'm naked. There's a picture in my bedroom by the window, and a suitcase just outside my closet door. I don't know if I should run away or tiptoe, but I feel like I can't be here anymore. No, no, no. But I don't leave 'cause I'm afraid to be alone. And it doesn't even matter now you're gone. But on the outside, I seem fine. But when you look into my eyes, baby, you're bound to see me shaking. Without your skin, without your skin, ooh, without your skin, I'm naked. Ooh. You make it sound so easy to make them all so proud. But when it comes to leaving, baby, I'd rather stick around. Oh, I don't leave 'cause I'm afraid to be alone. But it doesn't really matter now you're gone. On the outside, I seem fine, but when you look into my eyes, baby, you're bound to see me shaking. Out of your skin, out of your skin, ooh, out your skin, I'm naked. Out of your skin, oh, out of your skin, ooh. Out your skin, I'm naked. Without your skin, I'm naked.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Without Your Skin's the name of that song. Or the Naked song for all you kids out there.
For all you kids out there. The Naked song.
Great song, though. Fantastic. And again, that was sort of the song that kind of got me hooked, which I really appreciate.
Oh, thank you. I do too.
Became a big fan after hearing that song. I heard it online, and then Laura sent me the album. And just a brilliant album, too. Can You Hear Me is the name of the debut disc. His debut, right?
That was my debut LP, yeah.
Debut LP from Keaton Simons. KeatonSimons.com if you want to learn more about him, and I encourage you to check that website out for sure. He's performing tonight over in Newmarket at the Stone Church.
That is correct.
With the Brew.
The Brew's playing.
So that'll be fun. Yeah. So are you friends with those guys?
I am now.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Great.
I've become friends with them. And
there you go.
They are so awesome, man. They've been so wonderful, and just like it's just I'm incredibly happy that they put me on this show. It just means a lot.
All right. Well, good for you, and it's good for us as well. I wanted to sort of get into, just so people will know who you are. You're from L.A.
I am from Los Angeles.
And you're out here. And thank you for bringing, I don't know if you brought this weather with you, but yay.
I brought it with me, so you're welcome. And
it is beautiful out there today.
I hope so. Yeah.
There's a huge storm coming in as soon as you leave, too, from what I'm understanding.
Well,
so
we'll
we're not going to hold you to
area,
that.
So we'll be able to.
Oh, yeah. So you'll be able to enjoy it. All right, good.
I'll be able to enjoy it. It'll be great.
So you were saying earlier, and it was off here, that you're third generation out there. You were
That's right.
born and brought up out there. And
exactly. My mom's side, they're all from the East Coast, all from New York and Boston. And my dad's side of the family, 3 generations back of L.A. native, which is incredibly rare. I mean, I really have only met a small handful of people in my entire life that have that kind of lineage to that city. And it's cool because for me, L.A. gets a bad rap, and there's a stigma about it, which is not untrue entirely. But I'm fortunate in that I kind of am separate from all that because I'm OG, I'm the native. But it's crazy. Yeah, my grandparents on my dad's side were born in Los Angeles. Like, remember when Sunset Boulevard was a dirt road?
Wow,
that kind of stuff.
That's cool. There's a lot of stories there. I bet. Yeah. Does that inform any of your songwriting?
I'm sure it does. The way that I handle influence, because for me, influence is one of those things that is you can find it anywhere, but you won't necessarily find it anywhere unless you're open and receptive to it. And so I make sure that I'm always open and receptive, and then I allow myself to just kind of be influenced. And then when I create, I don't really force it, unless I'm given a specific assignment. If somebody says, "Hey, I'd like you to write a song for this movie, and I want it to be about this, or I want it to be influenced by this," then I'm able to access it that way. But in its best, at the best times, it just comes out unconsciously. And my favorite songwriting experiences are the ones where I feel like a passive,
sort of vessel
observer.
type of thing.
I feel like just a vessel.
Well, that's cool. I mean, is that
doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the thing. It's do you when it doesn't happen?
Yeah.
Do you force yourself to get into it, or
it depends? Sometimes,
you said you make yourself just be an open vessel, and how do you make yourself?
Well, you can't. That's the thing. It's that kind of whole Zen thing. Right. You can't try, or you're not able to do it. You know what I mean? So it's like. I don't know, the kind of lifelong struggle of just letting go. And fortunately, I'm able to have brief moments where I'm able to do that. And then that's part of the reason why I really enjoy collaboration, because having someone else to bounce off of. Laura and I have written a couple of really great songs together. We've got one that's going to be the end of a short film coming up. And then there was one where Laura wrote these lyrics, just kind of just a short poem that was very emotional. And one night I just took a look at it and just sang it, basically. Just created a song of it. And it's on From the Pacific. It's
That's the last song on the album,
called Notice Me, yeah. And that to me is one of my favorite songwriting experiences of my life, and I didn't even write the lyrics, So it's like you got to just be open to it, let it happen however it happens.
And that is a really cool song. Yeah. The only my question about that, well, that's the problem. Not that it's a problem, but I was like, this song needs to be longer than this.
I know, but it's like
it's very suctistinct,
right?
And
it's very succinct.
And it does have it grabs you in that minute.
Yeah.
But
that's good to hear.
Yeah,
I know it leaves you wanting more a little
exactly,
bit. But it definitely, and you never know. It could evolve into something like that.
It seems like it probably. I don't know you're a songwriter, but for me, if I had written that song, or if I had shared in it with, as you said, I'd want to explore it a little bit more.
Sure.
It seems like a song that could grow a little bit.
Without a
you
doubt.
know?
Although I'm glad that it exists in this state, because that is a real, the most accurate, clearest representation of what that was. I mean, Laura handed me a notebook with that written in it, and I sat down, and that's what came out of it.
So what was it about that song that sort of grabbed it? What was it?
It all happened in that moment. I mean, I really sang, the first time I read it, I was singing it. So I was able to kind of connect to it in a way that's totally subconscious. And I'm a person who really believes that the majority of communication happens non-verbally and essentially in a language that we don't speak. So it's like that we're able to feel it, but we can't really define it. And so when we're able to kind of have a real clear and connected communication that in that language, it's just like nothing else.
Right on. Well, good for you to sort of encourage that type of communication.
Well, thanks,
too.
man. That's that's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you 1,000% on that one. The name of the song we were just talking about is called "Notice Me," and it's off the brand new EP called "From the Pacific" that we were talking about earlier. We're live in the studio with Keaton Simons. Timer now is 30 minutes past the hour, and you are listening to WSCALP Portsmouth Community Radio. And you had mentioned collaboration, and we just talked about this album. There's a great song off this that you did with a woman called Melissa Polina.
Oh yeah, Polinar. Yeah.
Polinar, is that her name? Sorry, sorry, Melissa.
That's okay. Melissa Polinar.
So I guess I'll throw a third request out. Third request out to you. Let's do it.
Pleasure, man. Unfortunately, I don't have Melissa in here to do that as a duet, but that song, the studio version of that song, will definitely be on the new album when it comes out. And it's actually, there's also a full band live version of it on Nowhere to Hide on the live album. So that's the song you're talking about. It's called "Beautiful Pain."
"Beautiful Pain" is the name of the song. That's correct. And there's a great video of that, of you and her sort of doing that, which almost sounds what was put on the album. It's kind of got that, well, this whole album really is a stripped back thing.
We made it specifically to be like that, and that's exactly how it is. We did. Melissa came over. I've known her for years. She's a brilliant artist. Definitely look her up out. You look her up if you haven't already, and anybody out there listening, please look her up because she's incredible. Amazing songwriter, amazing singer, amazing player. And she came up. She called me up. And she was like, I really have been like feeling that tune, and I'd love to do it as a duet and film it and put it up. And I was like, it was an honor to me. I said, of course, come on over, let's do it. So we in mine and Laura's living room, we recorded it, and then
that's good.
And then I brought her in the studio real quick, and we did that recording, so we have a little clearer.
Right on.
But here it is.
All right, do it.
Why's it gotta be so hard? And why's it gotta be this way? It's like I'm being torn apart by all this beautiful pain. And I know you wanna be with me, but you gotta go to him. Freedom isn't really free if you sink before you learn to swim. And I shudder in my sleep, and I can hardly close my eyes. And then I wake up in a dream, free now from a life of compromise. Well, you never lost, but you never won. You never fought and you never moved on. You never lost, but you never won. 'Cause you never fought and you never moved on. Don't be afraid of looking back. Everybody has a past, and now you got my heart racing in just a few days, and I wanna be patient so this doesn't fade away. So if you're gonna save a life, maybe it should be your own. 'Cause baby, we don't have much time before we go stumbling home. And I know that we just met, but what I never understood, how can something be that bad when it feels this good? And I shudder in my sleep, and I can hardly close my eyes. But then I wake up in a dream, free now from a life of compromise. Oh, you never lost, but you never won. You never fought and you never moved on. You never lost, but you never won. Cause you never fought and you never moved on. But don't be afraid of looking back. No, everybody has a past, yeah. And now you got my heart racing in just a few days, and I wanna be patient so this doesn't fade away. No, so this doesn't fade away. No, so this doesn't fade away. Well, you never lost, but you never won. Cause you never fought and you never moved on. You never lost, but you never won. Cause you never fought and you never moved on. You never lost, but you never won. Cause you never fought and you never moved on. You never lost, but you never won. Cause you never fought and you never moved on. Don't be afraid of looking back. No, everybody has a past, yeah, yeah, and don't be afraid of looking back. Oh, everybody has a past, yeah. Now you got my heart racing just a few days, and I wanna be patient so this doesn't fade. Got my heart racing just a few days, and I wanna be patient so this doesn't fade away. So why's it gotta be so hard? Why's it gotta be this way? It's like I'm being torn apart by all this beautiful pain.
Brilliant.
Thanks, man.
Keaton Simons live in the WSCA studios. Fantastic song called Beautiful Pain. I love that song, man.
Thank you so much.
Seriously, that's amazing.
I love that one too. That one I started writing that actually right when I met Laura, my girlfriend, because she's, in addition to being my everything, she is my everything. So, I wrote that right when we first met. We met because she was doing PR for a festival that I was performing at in upstate New York, and we met, and it was just like, you know, it just all came together real fast, and in my heart, you know, but when we went our separate ways after that, it was kind of uncertain, you know. And as I was driving to my next gig in Virginia, just in a rental car alone, it just kind of hit me, the chord that never lost, but you never won, and even actually the first verse, that whole "why's it gotta be so hard," it just was like rolling around in my brain, and I'm sitting there frantically scribbling it, you know, while driving, which don't do that out there, kids. This is very dangerous. But and don't arrest me or anything. It was a long time ago, not that long, but enough. Statute of limitations, I think, is over. But anyway, and then you know, we kind of stayed in touch, and so it was uncertain at that time, and the song was unfinished. And then I kind of stole her away and brought her out to L.A. and finished it with her right there next to me. So it's such a cool thing to me when the form and content can be reflective of each other.
Absolutely.
You know.
Well, it's a powerful song. It really grabbed me. There's so many different the different layers of that song, and the song itself has a story to it, I guess, but the overall meaning can go so many different ways, And
I like that.
Absolutely.
Because for me, when somebody listens to a song, it's a personal experience for them, and my goal is to express myself as openly and clearly as possible, but not to restrict people to to interpret it in any specific way. I want people to get what they get.
And even emotionally, that song can go both ways. And it all depends on how I listen to it.
Exactly.
It's got the joy. Well, it's the beautiful pain, I guess. So that's exactly what it is. You have that joy part of it, and then you just have that part that you just go, ugh. There was a few lines. Waking up from a life of compromise.
Right.
That line just kind of hit me. I love that one.
Thanks,
and
man.
You never lost and you never won. That's a whole nother one. It's like, you're just kind of there and you haven't really experienced life, so you got to kind of get out there, and that's the way I've heard it. Anyway,
and for me, the whole concept of beautiful pain is something that I've been fascinated by for a really long time, and I've been wanting to write about it for a long time, and it just had to happen when it happened. But yeah, it's just that thing of some things are just so incredibly beautiful that they hurt, and some things are so there's a connection there between beauty and pain, and it's interesting,
And I think it goes the other, from me. I think there are some things that are so painful that when you go back to and look at them, that they have a certain amount of beauty in them itself.
Exactly.
But
exactly. That too.
Yeah, right.
No, definitely. That's in there for sure.
Time right now is about 20 minutes before the hour of 3 o'clock. We're live in the studio with Keaton Simons, and we're talking about him and all his music, which is a good thing. And I could probably talk to you for a lot. If you wanted to stay here for 2 hours, we could keep on going for sure. Because I really dig your songwriting, and I really dig the how you approach the song anyway,
thanks,
and how it comes out and hits me anyway. It was interesting.
You ain't so bad yourself.
It was interesting though when I had a certain, I was introduced to you not too long ago, whatever it was, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and so I had a certain picture in my head about this guy that's writing all these great songs. This is beautiful kind of heartfelt songs, and I got the new live album.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, this is cool. Let's throw that in. And that's a whole nother thing,
Oh,
man.
yeah, man. That is a whole other side.
And I love it. It's
so glad.
absolutely fantastic. For everyone at home, you've listened to these 3 great songs that Keaton has just played. But I encourage you to go out and get Nowhere to Hide, which is the brand new live album. Live at the Jungle Room is the name of the disc. Nowhere to Hide, Live at the Jungle Room. And it just started off with I don't know if I was surprised or not, but I was like, wow, man, this is awesome. It has this kind of, well, at least the first song anyway, it has this kind of Robin Trower kind of rock, thing going for it, which I'm a huge fan of that style. So I was like, wow, man, this guy is not only a great songwriter, but you rip it up, man.
Thanks so much, man. Yeah, that's been a big part of me as a musician forever, since even before I started writing my own songs. I was a guitar player, musical director and stuff for various other artists, including I played with Snoop Dogg and stuff like that. And I was in the band Gnarls Barkley for a little while too. So I've done some really, really cool stuff, and definitely worked my butt off as a player,
right.
And that's a huge thing for me. And I love to be able to do both. That's one thing that I love about having a band. And even just a trio the Nowhere to Hide is recorded with amazing trio, Paul Allen on drums and Darwin Johnson on the bass, and they both sing beautifully also, and they're just great players. I've known both of them for over 10 years, and we've been playing together on and off for the last several years, and so I love being able to take it all the way there and really just rock, really rock out and jam out, and then bring it back and get quiet and have everybody kind of settle back into themselves, and then bring it back out.
Right. And there's an art to that as well,
Absolutely.
So I don't know if performing with all those different different styles of people or whatever has helped you with that, but it's there's a certain art to that, and
Without
it really,
that.
I mean, it makes for a great experience if the person on stage can do it and do it well.
Yeah, that's how I feel. And, I think I am hopefully getting better and better at it every time I perform. Because that's the goal. I'm a person who really loves and appreciates dynamics. I think
I agree.
why stay right in one place when you've got all of this range? So take it there, like really take it there. And I tell every musician that I have playing with me, I'm always like, listen, because I always want them to do. I only play with people who I have tremendous respect for, and I really think are incredible musicians and incredible people. And fortunately, I've been able to play with some of the most amazing musicians in the world. And I always say the same thing. I was like, I want to hear what you have to offer, but always remember, I love dynamics. So when it comes, when we break it down, break it all the way down. When we bring it up, bring it all the way up, and everything in between.
Well, you definitely do this on this new live album.
Thank you. That means so much.
It's fantastic. It really is. It's one of those. It's almost like it's 2 different days,
Totally.
or night and day. What
Right.
are they? I don't know if that's right. I wouldn't necessarily listen to this one in the middle of the afternoon, maybe.
Right, sure.
But I throw this one in while I'm driving down the road and just want to just lift me up.
There you go. I love
the other
it.
ones lift me up too, though. So I can't really say that. But geez, man, you kill on that. Great
thanks,
guitar
man.
playing, especially that first song. I don't know if that would. It just wow.
Thanks. We're releasing a new version of "Lift Me Up" as another single pretty soon, along with as kind of a B-side to another song called "The Other Side," which is there's another television show called Hollywood Heights, which is like a Nick teen soap opera thing, and a really cool show. The kids love it, and they used 18 of my songs on the show this season.
Wow.
I couldn't believe
That's
it.
awesome.
I'm like, whoa, blew my mind. And the song "Other Side,"
Right.
that one got a really great response, and just they used it so beautifully. It was all MOS, so no dialogue or anything, and it was over a kind of a montage of scenes, and they played the entire song, and then they even brought it back in a reprise in the end of the scene.
Wow, good for you.
It was so great, man. And then somebody popped it up online, and it got all tens of thousands of people watching it, viewing it and all that. And it means a lot to me. And so
Right.
we're like, let's make this, let's give this to the people,
Well, that's going to help. I mean, when something like that, I mean, you write a song and then it gets out there so quickly, visually, and people hear it. That's I suppose that's allowing you to do what you're doing, because I imagine that's a lucrative thing when it
can be,
hits
absolutely. I mean, it's interesting. It's just like anything else in the music industry.
Right.
Nothing's as it used to be, but absolutely, that is something that affords me the ability to do many of the other things that I wouldn't be able to do otherwise.
There's another song you mentioned, this whole kind of Nick at Night or Nick drama, whatever it's called, Nickelodeon drama. There's another song that is a great song that you had written for a Disney show, a Disney movie.
Oh yeah, the song "Black and White," but then "We Could Be Anything."
We Can Be
They used in
Anything.
that one. Oh,
yeah. And I saw I don't even know Nick.
Nolan Sotillo. That kid.
Nolan Sotillo, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. And I'm not. It didn't grab me the way he did it, but the song itself did.
Thanks,
it was a
man.
fantastic song.
I'll send you my version. I'll send you
Yeah.
the
Okay.
original
Good.
version
All
of
right.
it.
Good.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, because that's another one where I was like, geez, I want that song. I want him doing that song.
Oh, totally. Well, I've got that. That'll be on the new record too.
Oh, yeah.
And
Okay.
And we'll send it to
Right
you
on.
for sure.
So I mean, the reason I brought that up, a couple of reasons, because I wanted it.
Yeah.
But the other reason is working with Disney. Was that a cool experience?
Wonderful experience.
Because I did see the video of
The making
Nolan.
of thing?
Yeah. And when I was watching it, I was like, no, that actually looks like him in the producing room.
Oh yeah.
There.
No,
So
I produce.
Yeah.
And everything on the from the Pacific I produced, and that's I mean, it's all very broken down acoustic, but I play everything on there, and I play a lot of different instruments, and I have a degree in ethnomusicology, so I've studied world music, and so I play a ton of different instruments from all over the world, and that's one of the things that I really love and have really embraced more lately, and it's part of the same thing that I was talking about earlier, which is kind of trusting my own instincts and going with my vision, just as the core. It doesn't mean I don't listen to anybody else. It just means that it's gotta be inside. And so I'm realizing that I'm actually a pretty good producer of myself. I've worked with some of the biggest producers in the world, and people tend to dig the stuff that I produce myself more than any of the other stuff. And so, you know, and I'm kind of listening to that, and I feel connected with it also. I mean, there's no substitute for that. And for me, I've worked long and hard learning how to play and practicing and being able to play all these instruments and working with great producers and really learning from them and listening to music and being just a student of life.
Right.
And so, you know, why not bring that into the studio and just have it be just me in there making it happen.
Yeah, good for you.
But yeah, so I definitely, the original recording I produced with Michael Blue, who's a tremendous producer and songwriter.
But he's going to be producing the new album as well, right?
He produced a bunch of the stuff with me for the new record. But there's a lot of new stuff also that's going to be intermingled. I wrote that song also with my dear friend Jay Olero, who is also an artist, great artist. Look him up online. He's got some great records out, and we've a few co-writes on there. Some really cool songs. He's got a version of "We Could Be Anything" in black and white on his too. But to better answer your question from before, working with Disney has been great. I worked with them on that, and they were amazing. And I worked with them a few years before that on a movie that they did called Sky High, and I was asked to do a cover of the Talking Heads song "And She Was."
Oh, really?
And so I did a cover of it for the movie because they did the whole soundtrack was like new artists doing covers of 80s tunes, and so it was super cool.
Yeah.
You know,
right on. Well, good for you.
Thanks,
and I'm looking forward to hearing the new album when it does come out, so I can hear that one. You know. So what's the drop date on that? What are you thinking?
You know, we don't have a specific date yet, but it's probably going to be sometime in the late end of first quarter of next year, maybe in the middle ish. You know, it always takes longer than you think. You
is
know,
it done? Is everything ready to go?
We've got enough that's ready to go to just go for it, but we haven't done artwork yet, or we haven't. You know, I'm really just about to kind of start the proper release campaign, and I really want to do it right, and I really do intend to never let this much time go by between releases. You know, it's just my very first major release was an EP on Maverick in 2004. Then my next one was the debut LP in 2008, and I haven't released anything other than a couple of singles and some other little stuff and some of these acoustic things and some exclusive stuff. And then of course I released an album overseas in Germany. But you know, it's in this day and age. And the fact that I do a lot of self-production and I write a lot, and it's like I have no excuse. You know, I don't ever want more than a year to go by without releasing a new something. You know, so
all right. Well, we'll encourage you to continue to do that. How's that?
So once this next one comes out, I'm saying this a lot so that I can hold myself accountable for it, but I'm not going to let it happen again after that.
All right. Well, we'll hold you to it too.
Thank you.
I'll tell everyone to write you if we don't get something within a year and a half. How's that? We won't push it too hard.
Well, thanks.
Time right now is about 8 minutes before the hour. We've been live in the studio with Keaton Simons. KeatonSimons.com.
Yeah,
go to his
you can
website.
Check out also Facebook. I'm way more about Facebook.
Oh, okay.
The website's going to be overhauled pretty soon. Definitely check out the website. But check out Facebook.com/Keaton Simons Music.
All right.
And then I'm on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff.
Right.
I love all the
social media. That's great.
Well, because I love community and I love collaboration, and to me this journey is, you know, like, I play music first and foremost because I love it and because it's inside of me. You know, I would play music even if I knew that nobody would ever buy another song of mine or hear another song of mine even. But I play music live and record my music because I love the interaction and the communication between myself and other people. That is the core reason of that. So it's like, it's essential. You know, I say to people a lot, I always say, you know, I couldn't do this without you guys. And even if I could, I wouldn't want to. You know, I mean, it's much more fun to do it as a collaborative thing.
So there you go. So I encourage everyone to go to Facebook then and connect with Keaton that way, and I will do the same at some point. I don't believe we're friends yet, but I will.
You might be my friend.
I will do that. I'll be your friend.
Be my friend.
I'm already your friend regardless. How's that?
Okay, good.
Even if I'm not
friends.
on Facebook.
You can be Facebook and real life.
Well, I can't thank you enough for coming in.
Oh, it's
seriously.
my pleasure. You want me to do one more?
That would be good. Yeah, if you don't mind.
I'm gonna do Masterpiece and keep it fun because I've done a lot of the kind of very heartfelt songs. This one's a little more tongue in cheek. Wrote this. of the songs that I've performed for you, the first one, if I hadn't forgotten, I wrote with my dear friend Jason Reeves, who's a brilliant artist and a brilliant songwriter. He wrote all the songs with Colby Calais, like Bubbly and all that stuff.
Right,
and I wrote Lenka and all these different people. I wrote Hero in Hell with amazing writer Elaine Macaluso and Ellen Douglas. That song hopefully will be on. It's supposed to be on the show Sons of Anarchy coming up soon.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that. Sorry, I didn't bring that up.
I've had 2 songs on there this season, and there's supposed to be 2 more coming up, and I'm just like, I'm over the moon.
It's another great show that really does a great job at song placement.
Without a doubt.
When it really does add to the drama and to the emotional effect of that show, which is a brilliant show too. I love that show.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, the music supervisors on that show are good friends of mine, and they are brilliant. And
they do a good job.
Oh yeah, extraordinary. And then I was going to say also, what else? I wanted to name other people that I wanted to give other people credit. Oh, the song "Other Side" that I was talking about before, I wrote with my friend Ayud Caldez. And then this song that I'm about to play, I wrote with 2 great friends, my friend Ben Caver and then my dear, dear friend Josh Kelly, who is an exceptional artist. If you guys don't know Josh Kelly, definitely look him up. He's awesome. We wrote this song a few years ago when we were on tour together, and we were writing like crazy.
Nice.
And so this is one of my favorite, and it's supposed to be a little sexy, a little funny. It's called Masterpiece.
Right on.
About the way that you kiss my neck early in the morning when we're lying in bed, but last night's tossing and turning got your hair in a mess. It's all about the way that you understand, is that sweet sexy way that you hurt this man. Kissing those lips got me feeling real freaky inside. And if you wanna be loved, then I've got it. And if you wanna make love, I can do that too. If you wanna be touched in the right way, then baby flip on the light so I can see my masterpiece tonight. By the fire with a glass of wine, a fake fur coat rose got you looking so fine. Cheers to you, honey, cause you look so money tonight. Well, I am crazy about the way that you shake your thing. Makes me wanna give you a diamond ring. Let's finish what we started, cause girl, you a part of my life. And if you wanna be loved, then I've got it. And if you wanna make love, I can do that too. If you wanna be touched in the right way, then baby flip on the light so I can see my masterpiece tonight. I live more and more each day. I need it. I realize our love's just a game. Said I want it, you got me bending over backwards just to catch you on the other side. If you wanna be loved, and I've got it. And if you wanna make love, and I can do that too. If you wanna be touched in the right way. And baby, flip on the light so I can see my masterpiece tonight. Said I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh yeah, yeah. I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh yeah, yeah. Now she gives me money when I'm in need. Yeah, she's a kind of friend indeed. Said I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh, oh yeah. Hey, pretty baby with the high heels on, you give me fever like I've never ever known. You're just a product of loveliness. I dig the groove of your walk and your talk, your dress. Feel your fever from miles around. Pick you up in my car and we'll paint the town. Just kiss me, baby, and tell me twice that you're the one for me. The way you make me feel, the way you make me feel, you really turn me on. You really turn me on. You knock me off of my feet, baby. Knock me off. My lonely days are gone. Yeah, my lonely days are gone. If you wanna be loved, and I've got it. And if you wanna make love, and I can do that too. And if you wanna be touched in the right way, then baby, flip on the light so I can see my masterpiece tonight. Baby, flip on the light so I can see my masterpiece tonight. Baby, flip on the light so I can see my masterpiece tonight.
Nice. Keaton Simons live in the WSCA studios. Fantastic.
Man, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming in.
It's really a pleasure.
My pleasure. And good luck with everything. I'm looking forward to the new album. Good luck tonight. Keaton's performing tonight over at the Stone Church over in Newmarket. I encourage you to get on over there.
Come on out. We've got the amazing Yauba playing percussion with me.
So how is the show going to look tonight? I mean, we talked a little bit about this live album. You know?
What's it going to be like? It'll be a good combo. You know, I mean, I'll definitely break it down and do some of the, but you know, of the songs that I played today, I'll definitely play Beautiful Pain, and I'll definitely play Masterpiece. You know, we'll jam out a little bit for sure, because I love to do that, and Yauba is amazing with that. And we jammed last night at Toad in Boston, and it was awesome.
Nice.
What a cool little spot, and what a great audience. Man, it reminded me like of the European audience, like just super engaged and really just like, it was wonderful.
I think you're going to experience the same thing tonight, and I hope it continues to go.
Awesome.
Goes that way.
Awesome.
Yeah,
but it's going to be fun. We're going to be jamming a little bit. It'll be acoustic, but we'll take it out there.
Right on. All right, we're looking forward to that. So I encourage people to go check out Keaton tonight if you'd like to, and go to his website, KeatonSimons.com. Hit him up on Facebook, Facebook /Keaton Simons Music, and yeah, connect in one way or the other, man.
Indeed.
It's all good. And I can't tell you how much I appreciated connecting with you today. I'm going to go to a song off of the live album, and we were talking about that earlier, just to sort of pick the thing up a bit here. This is a song called Grim Reaper. I do want to thank Keaton for coming in. I do want to thank Laura for helping set this up, and I do want to thank Steve, my trusty sidekick here, doing the great video work that he does. And I want to thank you for listening, and for tuning in via video. So, the name of this song is called Grim Reaper, and again, it's off the live album, Keaton Simons, Nowhere to Hide, live at the Jungle Room. This is fantastic. You're going to love it. All right, we'll be back in just a little bit. I have Waylon Speed joining me live in the studio in about an hour, so stick around. It's going to be a full day of live in-studio music.
Thank you, man. All right, let's start with Grim Reaper. It's going to be loud and aggressive.
That was awesome, guys. Holy crap.